Hi everyone, I am Lisa Gillespie, helping you to move better and feel better. And I wanted to talk today on the topic of how to hold a baby so that you don't wreck your body in the process. And if you do have a little one, you are well aware of how much time you spend holding your little one and that it's a really physically demanding process. It asks a lot of our body in ways that we probably haven't needed to use our body up to that point. So here are some tips for how you can do that with more ease and more supportive of your body. So I have my model bunny here of all the baby dolls my daughter has. I couldn't find the one I was looking for. So one of the big things to watch for is this tendency when we're holding a baby to shift the pelvis forward and to place the shoulders back. When we place the shoulders back, it kind of lifts the chest up a little bit and we can rest the baby on a little bit, and then we tend to bend the knees, and this may look very familiar to you. But what's happening is my pelvis is tucked under and thrust forward, and my ribs are lifted up and back, and that is no good for my pelvic floor. That's no good for my abdominal muscles and healing diastasis recti if you're trying to do that, and or preventing diastasis recti. So to correct that, to improve that, we're gonna back the pelvis up so that it's stacked over your ankles rather than thrust forward. And you're going to lower the shelf of your chest down so that you are not elevating your rib cage, but rather you're stacking your ribs over your pelvis. And in the process, you'll most likely feel pretty slumpy doing that, but I promise you it's a lot better for your back, and it's a lot better for your abdominal muscles. When the ribs are stacked over your pelvis, the abdominal muscles can respond more than when your ribs are thrust up and your chest is lifted up. Now, the challenge to being in this position is that now all of a sudden you're not using your pelvis and your chest to support your baby, but instead you're having to recruit your arms more. And for most of us, our upper body is pretty weak. So you're going to fatigue more easily, which means you're going to have to change position more frequently, which isn't a bad thing. It's actually good for you and your baby to change position frequently. Your baby's going to adapt to whatever position you hold them in the most. With my daughter, I would hold her with my left arm, which freed up my right arm. I'm right-handed. And what happened is she grew quite used to always looking over her right shoulder. And we want babies to have lots of mobility in their neck and to utilize both sides as well. If we're only utilizing one, it can support more mobility on one side compared to another. It also, for the mama, now my left arm got a lot stronger compared to my right arm, and it also caused different imbalances in my body as a result of not doing more symmetrical holding or more variety that included both my right side and my left side. So mix it up when you're holding your baby. Relax the ribs down so that they're stacked over your pelvis. Back your pelvis up, which means you're going to be using more of your glutes and your hamstrings to help support you, which is going to be really, really helpful for pelvic floor function, for helping your back, all of these things that you need in order to support your body through this marathon of raising a child. So vary your position. There's lots of ways to hold a baby. Left side and right side need to get involved, both for your sake as well as your baby's sake. Also, if you're hip holding, watch this position. It's, again, you're using your body to make up for lack of strength in your upper body. And in the process, you're shifting your pelvis over to one side. You're also dropping down into your standing hip, which means that your ligaments are doing the bulk of the work to stabilize your hip joint. and not the muscles. We want the muscles to be really active participants in whatever position we are doing. So try to continue to have your weight over both legs rather than dropped into your hip, which also means you're going to have to use your arms more. They're going to have to do more work, which is great for your upper body strength, but it's going to be work. Now, if you like to wear your baby, that's wonderful. And be mindful that these habits, even if you're wearing your baby, can still be a part of it. So you may not need, your arms may be freed up to do other work, but watch this tendency still. We had this tendency, most of us, prior to pregnancy. We took this into pregnancy and we take it out as we're holding our baby and beyond. So if you are baby wearing, be mindful that your shoulders aren't a mile behind your pelvis, but instead are stacked over your pelvis. Also, I really, really encourage you to mix it up. It can be really easy to do a lot of baby wearing because, again, it frees up our hands to do other things, which is great. However, you do want your upper body to be doing the work. You do want your baby to be doing the work of helping to hold themselves up. And again, baby wears are great things, but they also do a lot of the work for the baby. Just like when we sit in a chair, the chair often does a lot of the work of holding ourselves up. So make your baby work, make them help hold themselves up and carry them in arms as much as possible, or at the very least, mix up baby wearing with carrying in arms so that you get good variety for both you and your baby. The other thing to keep in mind is when we have something strapped around us, like when we're baby wearing, it changes the pressure within the abdomen. And if you have pelvic organ prolapse, this may be something that you want to rethink because that additional pressure of the abdomen from the straps of the baby carrier, the sling, can create additional pressure, downward pressure onto the pelvic floor. So be mindful of that. See what your body needs and what will best support it. I hope you found this helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to post them down in the comments below, and I will be happy to answer them. Enjoy!